I need to sit.
Yeah. I need a refill.
Hey guys, welcome back to Entwined. First of all, I wanted to say thank you so much to everyone for watching. I got really great feedback and a lot of people that could relate to just the fitness, the feeling lost, but most of all the mental health. I got a lot of people messaging me saying thank you for addressing something that's so hard to talk about. So that's another reason why I want to talk about that today with my friend Ella.
It was horrible. It wasn't. I didn't think it was horrible.
Okay.
We met in El Paso.
Yeah.
We went to the same high school.
Mm-hmm.
Both moved there our sophomore years.
Yeah.
From separate towns.
Yeah. Didn't find that out until later.
Yeah. Much later.
I always thought she was a bitch because she just kind of always had this face, looked like stuck up. I always thought, I
Still
would
have
think
that
that-
face.
Yeah, yes.
Still have the face, but it's much more lovable.
But yeah,
you have the same face.
I do have the same face.
I get that comment all the time. I'm like, no, she's not mad at you. No, she doesn't hate you. It's just her face.
Y'all would never know.
Okay.
We actually lived at the same apartment complex.
Freshman year.
Didn't talk
enjoy
much.
each other.
No.
Didn't have alone time together, really.
I don't think we wanted it.
And I don't think we wanted it either.
Yeah, we didn't. We really didn't.
Anyways, here we are. We both like running. And
Yes.
that's how it started.
That is how it started. I was like very sporadic.
sporadic.
We would just go on a run sometimes. Like we didn't have anyone else to run with, or we were just like,
Hey, I don't want to run alone.
Yeah.
Let's want to run together. What do you do?
So, I mean, we would run together. We would kind of talk. In the first couple runs, we didn't really talk very much. It was mostly listening to music. And
Mostly
just, like,
heavy breathing.
Yeah, mostly heavy breathing. A lot of rap. Every time we ran, I feel like our
talked a little bit
conversation,
more.
our conversations would get a little more deep every time we ran. Whether it was like her relationship stuff that she was going through, my relationship stuff that I was going through.
It was like a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
Both sides.
Both sides.
um,
And then I think one day on a specific run, I don't know how it came up,
but somehow it got brought up that my dad was a drug addict. And then you said...
I was like, oh, well, my dad's knucking futz, so just kidding. What did I say? I don't know.
I think you said something like, yeah, I don't really, like, don't tell anyone, or, like, don't say this to anyone, but my dad's homeless.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, like, what are the circumstances? And we started talking about that, and said, I think my dad could possibly have bipolar disorder, something like that, and...
You said that, or I said that?
Yeah, I said that, because my dad definitely does, I think.
Well...
Not diagnosed.
Yeah.
But...
And my dad does have bipolar disorder.
A lot of the characteristics matched up.
Yeah, and we started talking about just, like...
Stories.
Instances of people with bipolar disorder and, you know, manic depressive, that's another name for it, and just drug addiction in general. My brother was addicted to drugs all through high school. Almost never saw him. Love you, Joe. Cheers to sobriety most of the time.
But I think one of the most important things was that we were able to kind of like tell stories about our childhood and also laugh at them.
Yeah.
Like things that if I tell someone else, like I've told other people that I've dated these stories, I've told other friends and they're like,
yeah.
they're like completely shocked or they're like, are you okay?
Yeah, like,
and
I'm
I'm like,
sorry.
Dude, that was funny. Was that not funny to you?
But the
It's
best
funny.
part was like, you know, we had these walls up for so long thinking like, we didn't have anything in common. I thought she was stuck up. You know, her stepdad's a doctor. You know, she's a little bit wealthy. No offense, but I always painted this picture that Ella was just like stuck up and just this higher.
Yeah, and it's funny because we choose to tell people things that, I mean, this is even important to say now, and it's hard to say, but we choose to tell people things that we want them to know about us.
Yeah.
Rather than the truth. My mom was a single mom, had 2 jobs.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like,
I would have never guessed that.
Struggled all through my childhood.
You know, just having that common ground was just, I think, super important for the start of our friendship. But not only that, ever since I opened up to Ella about that on that run, it made me a lot more open just talking about it in general. I was like, you know, I can relate to Ella in this way. I wonder how many other people out there I can relate to. We can't be the only 2 people. It can't be a coincidence that we were running that day and like just happened to like...
No, I mean, there's so much mental illness, so much drug abuse, but people don't talk about it. They think it's embarrassing. And it is. I mean, for us at least, it was when we were younger. You know?
Like, where's your dad live? And I'd be like, does he just live
Dallas
somewhere?
You know? over there.
Probably sleeping somewhere outside.
Yeah. Or the fact that, like, so many people, like, even day-to-day life, you meet someone and you're like, oh, well, my dad's not in my life, or I've never met my dad, or something like that.
Yeah.
And you actually start to wonder how many of those stories are, like,
just
childhoods like us. Like, they did have a loving dad.
Mm-hmm.
They had a loving dad and something went wrong, or maybe, like, maybe their dad's never been in their life, but they didn't choose that. Maybe their dad's remorseful for that. There's just so many different circumstances, but we don't talk about that because the perfect family is a married mother and father.
Mm-hmm. Spill it.
Chill.
No, I just really like the fact that we both had dads in these, like, really, really shitty and unfortunate circumstances, but, you know, our pictures of our dads when we were younger are such happy pictures. Like,
such happy pictures. Because
like, our
they're
dads
playful.
loved us so much.
Playful and...
Period.
You are? Oh.
Just a little bit.
She cries at everything. You almost, like, as a child, it was so confusing because I almost felt I almost felt dad. That's not something I feel very often.
I felt dad. I really felt dad.
Yeah, I felt bad for my dad. Like, oh, he means the best. Oh, he means well. Always making excuses for him because he did have such a playful personality.
Mm-hmm.
Unstable.
Yes.
Unstable. But
when
you're
like
a child,
reckless shit.
Reckless, yeah.
Reckless
but
shit.
when you're a kid, like, unstable is like, oh, this is fun. This is something I do with my neighborhood friends.
Yeah.
Rather than my parent.
Sure.
So you loved your parent, but also when shit went bad, you're kind of like, I gotta help, or that part was hard. That part is the part where you, like, really, like, matured too young. I
think you said your dad had trouble with the law too, right?
The law?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like going to jail and stuff.
Oh, yeah. He was in jail. I thought at the time that he was in jail for, like, 9 months, but I don't know. Actually, I don't remember where it was. Someone said, have you ever wrote a letter to someone in jail? And everyone's like, no. Like, what a weird question, right? And
fucking 700 million.
Yeah, someone said that. And I told my mom about it because I was like, because my uncle's in jail right now. And that's how it got brought up. Mm-hmm. And I told her, and I was like, it's so weird because I wanted to be like, yeah, I have a stack of letters from someone who's in jail. Pictures from an inmate that was good at drawing. So he asked his friend to draw a picture of me.
My dad was that guy in jail.
Based the moral of the stories, I did not say anything because I was like, I can't get in this conversation right now. I have written the county jail so many times.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, like, we're laughing about it, but it's like so many people are ashamed of that, and so many people feel hurt by it and saddened by it, but it's like,
it's part of life.
We're not alone. So, like, a little bit more about, like, just, like, my whole dad situation. Again, this is something I never, ever talked about until, like, 2 years ago, maybe. Talked about it, like, a little bit with, like, my best friend, but even then I was really reserved about it. And, like, my boyfriend at the time, but it's like people don't understand. If they're not in the situation, they don't understand. So, basically, my life from ever to ever has been, you know, manic depressive. If you don't know what that is like, so when you're manic, you'll stay up for days at a time. You'll probably be doing, like, very, like, meticulous things. You'll be, like, cleaning everything.
Tasks.
Tasks. Spending money. Impulsivity. Just, like, running around doing unnecessary tasks. Like, looking for things. Say you lost something, like, 3 years ago. You're fucking looking for it one day, and you can't stop. Like, you can't stop. You're not going to sleep till you find it, but you're not going to find it because you lost 3 years ago. Like, Dad, stop.
Mm-hmm.
There's those waves of manic, and then there's...
That take over your life.
They take over your life, and that's why my dad was always in prison and always homeless, because he would be manic and get into trouble with cops, or just be... It gives you an elevated mood to where you think you're almost invincible. So my dad would just get, like, really hyper and, like, talking to everybody and, like, saying inappropriate jokes and, like, talking really loud, like, friendly. He was just trying to make friends with people, but people perceived it in the wrong way and would call the cops on him. We lived in a small town. Like, he would go to jail, and then he would get out, and he would be really depressed by that time. Like, his manic wore off, or however the chemicals in your brain work, but it would just stop, and he would be depressed, severely depressed. I know people are like, oh, I'm so depressed. No, like, can't move, won't get out of bed, curtains shut all day, every day. You know, it was a cycle. And then one day, something would trigger it. He would start playing his guitar again, or something would make him happy. I would call him, and we would just have a good conversation that day, and he would turn manic. And then go to jail, and I would be like, collect call from blah, blah, blah county jail every time. It was a cycle like that for my whole life, and still, I mean, to this day. And a funny story to describe what it is like to be manic, which I told Ella kind of recently, this story. One time I was staying with my dad. I think I was like, I honestly don't know how old I was. I was anywhere from like 9 to 13. I was staying at my dad's house, right?
Is this the hiding in the car?
Yep. No.
Truck?
No, that's another story.
Okay.
There's not
well,
enough
we know
time.
our stories now, so that's
There's
good.
not enough time for the stories of my dad when he was manic. But so one time I was visiting him, for whatever fucking reason, my mom let me and my brother go stay at his house while he was manic, which was just a bad idea in itself, which sounds bad. My dad didn't have bad intentions. Like, he's not a bad guy. He's so loving and caring, and like, he wasn't take good care of us. But it's like, you're irrational when you're manic, and you're impulsive when you're manic, and it's just not a healthy place for kids to be when you're manic, you know? I don't know what happened. He pissed off the neighbor. He said something rude. He went outside in his underwear.
He went outside in his underwear?
Probably.
There's a news article, not to interrupt your story, but there's a news article on my dad, if you Google my dad.
Underwear?
And it says he's walking around our front yard, where I lived, in his boxers. And I read it a year ago, and I was like,
my dad's gotten arrested for that. Because they think they're like invincible. They're like, they don't care. They don't regard others. They're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do whatever. So, whatever reason the neighbors called the cops on him, the cops were called, which was not surprising. This was not surprising. My dad was like, hey guys, the cops are coming, fuck, shit. We're just like, oh, damn. And we're not fazed because, you know, this happens all the time. The cops are always getting called on my dad. Like, this is just no news to us. Routine, yes. We're just like, all right, everybody in line, you know. Anyway, so my dad's like, he's like, guys, the cops are coming. I need you to hide this weed, Elise. And I'm like, what's weed? Like, I don't know what weed is. I'm little. I'm a little kid. Like, I don't know what weed is. He's like, Elise, you gotta hide it. And it's like, it was like a nug in a fucking Ziploc baggie. And he's like, go hide this in the leaves in the backyard. And I'm like, and I'm thinking, okay, well, this looks a lot like the grass. So this is already setting me up for failure. But, you know, I'm gonna listen to my dad. He's fucking freaking out. The cops are coming. He has weed in his house, whatever weed is, right? So I go outside and like,
you never told me the story.
Dude, I told you this story.
Never have I heard the story, but it's great.
But so I go and I'm hiding it in the leaves. I guess the cops come, nothing happens, like everything's fine. The next day, I guess my dad remembers that he sent me off to hide the weed. Please, where's the goddamn weed? Where did you hide the weed? And I'm like, I don't know, you told me to hide it in the grass in the back. Like,
how big's the yard?
Dude, he lived right next to it was like trailer park. He lived in a trailer park, which made it that much more sketchy that I was out there hiding weed in the leaves at like 11 p.m.
The image of baby Elise digging for
I'm like,
with the weed.
Like, getting the leaves scurried. I'm like, I'm gonna remember this spot. He's mad. Like, that's what happens when you're manic. Like, you get mad very easily. You're very irritable.
Yeah.
You're very easily triggered. But he's freaking out.
He was thinking about the objective. Where's the weed?
Yes, freaking out. Digging, like, seriously, I have this image in my mind of him, like, fucking digging through the leaves. It's like fall time. And next to the woods in a trailer park, and we're looking for weed. 9-year-old me is looking for weed with my dad. Like, okay, maybe I was.
What are you wearing? I need to get another
I was older
picture.
than 9. Probably like really badly fitting jeans and like a gross t-shirt. I was an ugly little child.
She was not.
I had no style. Like, my butt crack was probably sticking out. They probably didn't fit very well. And I'm digging through the leaves. We can't find the weed. He's pissed off. That's the end of the story. But if I told this to anybody,
they might laugh.
But they would be like, what the fucking fuck?
Seriously, like, they'd be like, dude, we were like baking cookies at my house.
Yeah. And I was hiding my dad's weed because
stuff,
the cops were coming. I mean, it's just funny. Like, it's funny to me. That was just my childhood, and like so many more stories like that.
Yeah. I mean, like, I can relate to what story did I tell you about my dad?
About him thinking someone was outside
in the backyard? Oh my god. One thing about people who are like in mania is staying up late too.
And paranoid.
Paranoid, obviously, but like staying up late.
Okay, and by late we don't mean 3 or 4 a.m. We mean like 3 days straight.
We mean like all the fucking time. But really depressing. So my dad didn't have full custody of me. Like, I was at my dad's house half the time, or not half the time, on the weekends. But yeah, like sometimes
half the time would be too much.
Half the time would be way too much, way too exhausting. I was tired after a visit with my dad. Like,
dude, yes, it's exhausting.
So one time, my dad, I don't know, he was doing something. He's like tinkering with something in the basement. You know, gotta fix something. I don't know.
Oh, fixing
everything.
Oh,
everything broken.
It's not broken.
It's not broken, and it's not
Polishing
even doesn't.
shit.
Yeah, like
Wiping
fucking
shit.
Oh yeah,
Dusting everything.
cleaning out the fridge. Everything's gone.
Oh.
Everything's bad. We gotta clean out the fridge. He's doing something. I go to bed like knowing full well that he's probably gonna wake me up at 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Better get some shut eye right now. I probably have school the next morning.
For sure.
And he wakes me up at 3 o'clock. Oh my god, Ella, you gotta come with me. I'm like freaking dead asleep. Get out of my bed wearing like a freaking zip up fuzzy pajamas.
Little Ella's so cute.
Pink fuzzy zip up pajamas. Toe to nose.
Yep.
And
very Christmas story, yes.
yeah, come on. And then I had to follow my dad to his room, and he goes, he don't turn on any lights. Don't turn on the hallway lights. So I'm like holding the back of his shirt because I can't see anything. We had to walk through my house in the pitch black. And then he goes, hey, okay, I need you to stand on my bed and look out the window. Now let me tell you something. This window is not like a huge window. It's like a tiny little window up at the top of the room, okay? And I have to get on the headboard. Stand on the headboard just to see out the window. I'm looking out the window. He's like, tell me what you see. I go, oh, okay. I don't see anything. I see the fence. I see the trees. Grass still there. I don't see a damn thing, okay? It's pitch black, but I mean, my eyes adjusted. There's nothing there. He goes, okay, look to the left. Do you see a guy standing there looking at us with binoculars? No! I don't see that. We were there for probably 20 minutes looking out his window, and I'm exhausted, but that's not something that, like, when you tell someone else that, they're like, oh, they think, neglect, or, like, he thinks someone's in our backyard spying on us at 3 a.m.
We have some great moms.
I mean, God, just the stuff that our moms went through, and the fact that the way we see them is just so, it's amazing because they put all of themselves into our upbringing. My mom was amazing. Worked 2 jobs. We had to live in several different houses.
Oh.
All the time.
Moving.
Beans and rice.
Oh, beans
and
rice.
rice. A staple.
Just slap some salsa and some sour cream and
Sour cream on beans and rice.
That was just
a meal. Our moms did like what they could.
Did what they could.
And every day that someone tells me that I remind them of my mom, I'm honestly just proud. I'm like, yeah, she's fucking awesome.
I'm happy to be able to share with you guys. This is a big moment because I've never been able to open up like this to many people. It's always been really hard. Like, people don't ever understand. And then whenever I do
embarrassment plagues everything.
Yeah. And even when they're like, oh, I'm not judging you, you feel it. I just hope you guys can take something from this and reach out.
It makes you feel like you're more accepting of your own life and able to tell your friends.
Yeah, open up about it. It really helps. Seriously, I feel every day since I put out my first vlog, I think I'm happier every day since then. Just hearing from you guys.
I've been with you, like, on 5 occasions people will be like, oh, I watched your vlog, I teared up. Or like, oh, I watched your vlog, like, keep going. Like, it's awesome.
My next video, I want to do a Q&A, but I'm also going to be
shrimp tacos.
Cooking shrimp tacos. Showing you guys how I do that. You guys always give me great feedback when I post pictures of them. So I'm going to show you guys how I make those and how to easily prep them for the week so you can eat it throughout the week, stay healthy. I also want to do a Q&A since now y'all have a little bit more background on me. I know y'all probably looked at me surface level before this, before the start of my vlog, before me opening up about everything, but that's truly what I want to do. I want us all to open up and be okay with having these conversations because I think we grow as people when we open up.
And it's amazing how different you see someone once they've told you a very, like, sensitive story. You see them in a whole different light.
Of course, yeah. When you experience things, you see people differently, and I'm always going to be that way. I'm always going to feel that way, and I hope I can change somebody's mindset, at least a little bit.
Okay.
And thank you so much, Ella, for being in my second video.
Of course.
It was fun.
We'll gladly talk about all my issues any day.
Yeah, so tune in 2 weeks for my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Dude, this feels so good to stretch my legs out. Let's go fucking eat Republic.
Let's go eat Republic. Dude, we're so excited. How do you stop this?
East side, like west side, but not as cool. So you just turn to the side. Anyway, don't take that advice. That's not a thing. Did you just... She just did... It was a hiccup or a sneeze or both.
Burp.
I can't... Oh, yeah, maybe.
It was burp.